Welcome back to the Spa Business Mastery Podcast. And today is always an awesome day when I get to sit down with my Director of Marketing, Delia Taylor, and talk about spa marketing. In particular, our topic today is maximizing your e-commerce sales using a lead magnet. Now, I think a lot of you, if you're kind of orbiting the topic of spa marketing, you've probably heard about a lead magnet or an email opt-in. And you may have also heard it being part of a sales funnel. So today we want to really dig into the aspects about your e-commerce and specifically kind of why you want to use them in order to increase your e-commerce sales and your online events, which is pretty new for a lot of spas, right, Delia? That's what we're noticing.
Absolutely, yes. And we've been talking about online spa events, and we're in full online spa event mode right now over at Virtual Spa Business Management.
Yes.
But yeah, so definitely maximizing your e-commerce for spa events is key.
Absolutely, yeah. Because what we know for sure about e-commerce and online events is that this is a fairly new arena for spa owners.
Mm-hmm.
And it really kicked them into gear last year when COVID hit and there was a lot of closures. And the only way some of the spas could actually keep their heads above water was with their retail sales. And some of those really brave ones even got on with starting to offer virtual services, like with their skin services. So it was really crazy to witness what was happening in the spa industry, but we've seen some really wonderful opportunities come out of, really awful situations. So what we want to share with you is specifically about how you can increase your e-commerce and your event sales using a lead magnet. So Delia, maybe you can share a little bit about what a lead magnet actually is, just in case our listeners haven't heard about it before or just need a little refresher.
Yeah. So, a lead magnet is an opt-in, and generally it's a freebie. So a freebie or a gift with purchase that's put on your website, and it's in exchange for their name, your potential customer's name and email. And so it also generally includes, so once they've opted into your email list, generally it includes a welcome series of emails. And so once they have given their email, they're on your welcome series emails, and the gift is given. Now they're on your newsletters for ongoing communication. So that's really what an opt-in lead gen is for, to get more potential customers into your email marketing, so that you can continue to communicate with them.
Absolutely. So we're saying as a spa, you absolutely need to have a lead magnet, especially if you are, wondering why your e-commerce sales are crickets after you built the platform. I mean, that's so frustrating because you hear a lot about have an e-commerce platform, but it is no longer a build it, then they will come kind of situation. Right. Yeah, you got to build it, but then you have to market it.
Yes.
And really what we want to share with you all is that marketing your in-person spa business is different than how you need to be marketing for e-commerce and online events.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I just want to say, you've got two different types of clients, and so two different types of ideal clients that you can really tap into. You've got your in-spa and a whole new, it's not new, but it's new for us, I guess, in a sense, because we're so hands-on in the spa industry. We're not used to this virtual.
We're totally used to depending on our physical locations, but we're also used to working within this kind of constricting realm of our physical location. Mm-hmm. That lid's been blown off the pot. Mm-hmm. And especially skin therapies businesses have an exponential amount of revenue opportunity with e-commerce.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great extra revenue stream, so that there's a lot of spa owners who are trying to find ways to get out of that treatment room, not be so physically involved. It's a great way to, even if you're solo, just to add that extra, give yourself a little bit of a break and add that extra revenue stream. And we also know that, COVID showed us that our consumers are ready for this. So, we really need to start catering to that online spa crowd. again, it just, if you're feeling so busy and overwhelmed in spa, adding this revenue stream not only will help your efforts of your e-commerce work, but will also provide that, a
Yeah.
little bit of relief, I guess, in a sense of, that, that
Absolutely. And then,
hustle.
yeah, and like there is a little bit of work to do to
Mhm.
get to that easier way of selling, via
Yeah.
e-commerce or
Yeah.
events. So, we're not saying it's no work at all, but
Mhm.
we're saying it's work, but we want you to do it strategically, not just kind of a make work busy project, because we know you guys have way too much on your plates as
Yeah.
it is. So
Yeah. And as marketers, we do work on the online space, and we have, especially in the spa industry, we see how easy that tech can be for spa owners to manage.
yeah.
But we also recognize that they might be too shy to try. It might feel a little bit intimidating at first, and you likely don't even realize its full potential. So if you're able to hop on that virtual wagon, you will.
Well, it's kind of like with my virtual skin consultation toolkit.
Mhm.
The intention of that was to get more skin therapists on, kind of in the online space.
Right.
And what that toolkit was meant to show you, and the feedback that I've gotten was like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize it was actually this easy.
Mhm. Yeah.
So sometimes you just need a little bit of guidance in
Yeah.
terms of the strategy and the how-tos, but it does make your sales easier, and it just gives you that extra it gives you those extra, being able to capture those extra sales opportunities from a virtual space. So let's dive into the two different online revenue streams that we are really encouraging spas to take advantage of. And the first one, of course, we've been talking about is e-commerce. So that is your online shop.
It's your online shop. And a lot of times, we see these beautiful sites, so much time and effort be put into it. And it's that, it goes back to that, if you build it, they will come situation. They actually don't. So it would be nice if they did.
Yeah, there's a lot of skincare online that's not
Mhm.
professional. So
Yes.
it's not as easy as just kind of throwing up a shop online and people will buy
And,
from it. You have to put in the
hoping,
marketing
yeah,
work to attract, that ideal client,
yeah,
which is where this concept of using an email opt-in or a lead gen comes in. You want
right.
to be, if you want more e-commerce sales, you need to be attracting more of those aligned consumers that
Yeah.
believe in your or are interested in your education and what kind of what you're doing.
Right. And we also know that sales is a numbers game when it comes to e-commerce. And, we've talked about sales funnels, you've heard about them. And really, it is a numbers game because you need enough people at the top of that sales funnel in order to net your sales down at the bottom. So as people start filtering through your sales funnel, you have to have a whole bunch at the top. It doesn't mean they're all going to come down.
And that's really where spas struggle, is that top of that sales funnels. And
How to get them
that's
there.
their biggest question. How do I get more people orbiting my business, just
Yeah.
like interested in my business? I mean, that's
Yeah.
kind of what marketing is about. But we're saying if you need more e-commerce sales, you need to have an online strategy to get more people into that top of that funnel.
Yeah.
And that's what that lead gen will do for your e-commerce, is just getting more people so that the numbers game is in your favor.
Yeah. And so, one of the best ways to, get more people in your funnel, like we said, is to get that lead gen going. And once because if you're talking about the online space, you're not physically seeing them in person, right? So they're not physically present. And so once they're on that email sequence, then you have now a way to communicate with those customers who, they opted in. So they have a little bit of an interest. They're just kind of, they want to get to know you. They're not quite ready to buy yet. They're not physically present, but you still have a means of communicating. And so when you're communicating with them, you're providing that education, you're giving rather than promoting. And really what you're solidifying there is just building your brand authority as an expert, and you're building their trust because you're not pitching sales to them, right? So you're nurturing that relationship with them.
Your lead magnet is a give.
Yeah.
I'm giving
They didn't just get on your website, or sorry, they didn't just get on your email list and now you're starting to blast them with sales. No, you have to build a rapport with them. And if you can't physically see them in person, and you're trying to maximize your e-commerce, then you need a way to be able to communicate with those customers and with those potential customers. And so, so that once they have that trust factor built, then when they're ready to solve their problem, then you're the first person that they think of and they're ready to buy from you. So, we find that relationship building in the online space it's a pretty critical part that seems to be missing. And that's likely maybe where, you're getting stuck as well too. So, you don't have, communication.
Yeah, I think that's, where a lot of spa owners with their e-commerce is they just are confused. Like, now what do I do? I'm promoting my products from my shop on social media. I'm promoting them on my email list, but your current email list is just your existing clients. So,
exactly.
You could have people that are still consumers, haven't purchased from you yet, but they're on your email list so that you are sharing educational, promotional information like Delia was saying. So, if you're wondering, like it's a head scratcher, how do I get more people to my e-commerce? The lead magnet, that's where you start.
Yeah.
All right.
And
so that's, that may be the missing piece for you in terms of like, what am I missing with, promoting my e-commerce? So that is exactly what you're missing. All right. So let's shift the topic a little bit from like lead magnets and e-commerce and to lead magnets and online events. So online spa events are still fairly new for our industry, but what we've experienced with our clients is that there is a huge opportunity for online events. So Delia and I both went through a launch management certification program. And in the springtime, and we were able to help a couple of my existing coaching clients with their solos, with their first, was it both of their first online events? I think it was.
Their first time, yep.
They're both solos, both first time online events. Both were really nervous. They're like, really, this is a thing and I can do this? And we're like, yes, we'll help you through. And you can see the magic at the end.
Yeah.
And so one of them did their online event on social media with IGTV, which was one strategy we wanted to test out. And the other, it was a private VIP invite only through Zoom.
Yeah.
And it was really exciting for us to help them, but it was more exciting for them to see what these possibilities were, because they sold way more. Like my one coaching client, I asked her how much she was going to be ordering for her stock for the event. And she told me like 6 units. I'm like, no, double.
20, I think you got 20.
Yeah. Like, yes, you will sell them out. So have at least as many units as you have for people that you anticipate showing up, your VIPs. So it was pretty cool. But one of the big things we recognized that was kneecapping their success in terms of getting more people at the event was the fact that they had such small email lists, because their email lists were just their existing clientele. And so in terms of launch managers and their launch success, it was a little bit throttled because of that. And so as a result, one of these clients, we're actually doing her fall event. We're in the process. We just finished her lead magnet, and now it's time to use the lead magnet to get more people at the top of her funnel, on her email list, so that when she sends out her invite in November, beginning of November, I think, when we've got it planned, she's going to have a much larger audience that can say yes to coming to that event.
And generally, online events, generally it's done by sending one email, typically, a week or two.
The in-person events, that's what's normally.
Yeah, sorry. For in-person events, it's normally sent, an invite send one invite, a couple weeks before. Maybe there's a follow-up. You've got some baseball conversation that happens. And then, your event day arrives and you wonder why there's a low show up rate and your sales are lacking. So,
Again, it's that number. that
it's
numbers
that numbers game, and it's just not enough marketing. So when you're shifting over to online events, you know, like in-person events, it limits you to your local clients, right? So with online events, you have the opportunity to reach a much larger audience. If the event were to be online, you can go outside of your local area as well too. And you know, we find that in order for, like, that's where that lead magnet comes into, because you want to make sure that you're sending out those invites to not just your list, like Kirsten just said, you're reaching a larger audience. And so those opt-ins that are coming in with your lead gen will help you to expedite those online events.
Absolutely. You got a puppy that needs.
Yeah. I have 3 dogs in my office here right now, and they're all quiet.
Just before we press record, they're all quiet. They've been quiet for an hour. All right.
It's Oliver who's whining. Yeah.
So what we're saying about events, whether you choose to do it online or you choose to do it in person, you know, part of the reason why you have a low show up rate is because you don't have enough people on your email list. So we are suggesting that you need a updated online marketing strategy for your online revenue streams. Like it has to happen. What works for in-person marketing is not going to work for online and necessarily. And if you're just doing it in person in your location, you're limited by that demographic. So there's just so much opportunity that we're so excited for the spa industry to take. It's just that we know that there's pieces of information missing that spa owners don't understand the value for them to put time and effort and energy into creating a lead magnet. This is why. So we're hoping that kind of sheds a little bit of light on kind of what's missing with your online sales.
Right.
Guaranteed you are missing a lead magnet, which is essentially the first part of a sales funnel. Mm-hmm. So if you are you're thinking, I want to get into sales funnels, this is the first step of it anyway. So it's probably good timing. What's that?
I said you're already in it if you already have a lead magnet on now you just need to take it to the next step.
Yeah. And we also can do a little bit of research on lead magnets. We know that you have put your name and email for freebies. So even like test out other online industries, lead magnets, and the process that it takes you through, just to get an idea about what other industries are doing, because they just happen to be a little bit ahead of the game with the spa industry. And so there's a lot of really good juiciness there.
You might also actually, if you do that little exercise, you might be surprised that, this is just a little side note here, you might be surprised that some of those big companies actually lack in their lead magnets. Maybe they don't need it as much as spa owners do, but they lack in their communication. So yeah.
So we are bringing up this topic because event season is rapidly approaching.
We're in the thick of it.
Many spas have events planned for November. Mm-hmm. So if that is you and you have a small email list, and if you are planning on, taking that step into an online event, awesome. But hello, puppy. We're just saying it's now time for you to get on the ball with creating a lead magnet for yourself. So if you don't want to, if you're like, I want to create a lead magnet, there's lots of information out there, not spa specific particularly, but there's a ton of free information out there for you to glean from online. But if you want somebody to if you want to just hand it over to somebody and can you do this lead magnet for me? That's something that we do here at Kirsten Foss Coaching and our marketing agency, Virtual Spa Business Management. So reach out to us and we can have a call and talk about kind of what your strategy should be, and we can take it from there from you. So who is this lovely beast, Delia?
Making Kodak. This is Kodak, who's been with me this morning. He's my parents' dog and we're babysitting today. So that's why I have a crowded office.
Oh, Kodak makes his first appearance on a podcast.
Kodak, you're on a podcast now. You're famous. There you go.
He's just been lying on your lap the whole time.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Thank you, Kodak, for being a guest on our podcast today, surprise guest. And if anybody has any questions about lead magnets or your sales funnel, online events, that's what we're here for. Feel free to reach out to us. It's Kirsten at kirstenfoss.com. Thanks for joining. We'll see you next time.